storming the nation.
All right, we're back for episode 12 of the Idiot Circle. I'm Mike.
I'm Fred.
I'm Rob.
All right, guys. So Fred wouldn't tell us what the breaking news was. He's letting us hang out there to dry. So we're going to start with Fred's breaking news.
Hey, good save there, Mike. I know what you're about to say, but good save. But breaking news and shocking: Jay Wright retires from Villanova coaching basketball.
Really, that is shocking news. Actually,
Wow.
Yes.
Why? Did they say why?
It doesn't say what. It didn't say why. It came across the bottom of the screen while I was watching the Tiger game, and I was like, my jaw almost hit the ground.
Now we're going to have people that listen, Ruth, that may not know who Jay Wright is, but I mean, just know that he is an iconic coach in college basketball.
He's top 4.
Sure, right? I mean, you could argue it in some way or fashion where he falls in that, but here's
my goal.
Yeah.
Jay Wright does is an analyst for a year. Michigan fires Juwan Howard, and they pay Jay Wright anything that he wants to come and coach at Michigan. I would love that.
Yeah.
So he's retiring, or what's the? Is he going to another team, or
retiring? He's retiring.
So there's got to be some NCAA sanctions probably coming Villanova's way. Why would he retire?
You know,
I think he's pretty clean. I would have to say that if he's retiring, it's either because of health reasons. That's the only thing I can see him. Or he knows it's time.
Or is it Urban Meyer health reason? Reason.
Yeah. Well, maybe he needs a year. Just kind of recoup, so to speak. Who knows?
A lot of coaches are doing that.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with that. There's no reason for him. I mean, you look at the guys. He's never gotten the 5-star guys. So I mean, he's gotten good, solid character guys playing for him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think every coach in basketball and football cheat in some way, or
bend rules,
or they're teetering on that line in the sand that you're not supposed to go over. But he's a class. First of all, he's a class act. He puts class act people on the floor. I think the players he has or has had have all graduated and gone on to do good things. So that's the type of guy that I would love to see in Ann Arbor on the sidelines.
He's not the type of coach that would hit another coach.
Yeah, I would say no.
He's not the type of coach that just like rants and raves on the sideline and blames people for other things.
Yeah, boy, sounds
awesome. I think most coaches do that.
So are we talking about Tom Izzo?
I was talking about Tom Izzo.
Oh, okay. Are we talking about Bobby Knight? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, hey, Mike, you can have a team get sanctions and not have the coach involved in college sports. Right? There's alumni, there's boosters, there's all kinds of things that could happen. Like there still could be sanctions on Villanova, but he might. I'm not saying that's going to happen, and Wright not have anything to do with it, but just want to get out of there.
Yeah. Who knows? I guess we'll find out in the coming hours why exactly he's leaving, right? So
I have breaking news as well.
Holy shit, we got breaking news up and down the coast here.
So and maybe you guys have seen this. This was reported a little earlier today, but they released some of the text messages between Dwayne Haskins and his wife. Did you see that?
Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. What did I say? Dwayne
Haskins. He mixed Juwan and Dwayne.
Yeah.
Juwan. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Juwan. No, what was the deal?
So he was telling her that he lost, or he ran out of gas, and he was trying to get gas. He was going to walk to a gas station, is what they reported. But on another piece of thing I saw, what they didn't report is the fight between them, where he was that whole night, because he wasn't where he was supposed to have been.
Okay. Now, you're an NFL he's still an NFL quarterback, correct?
Yeah, he was just picked up by the Steelers.
So why in the fuck
2 weeks
aren't you calling a tow truck? I mean,
no, he wasn't calling the tow truck.
I know, but why weren't you?
Yeah,
why weren't you? I mean, these professional sports athletes, they're fucking prima donnas. Why in the hell wasn't he on the phone saying, with a tow truck saying, "Can you bring me some gas?" Why the hell is he walking along the road and crossing a highway?
Yeah. Well, not to mention the fact that the only ones that have been smart were Konstantinov and them, and look what happened to them. Right. They were in a limousine. But all these guys, they first of all, they think they're indestructible, that they're untouchable, and that they're going to live forever. And they do the dumbest things. First of all, you can't take the trash out of the trailer. You can take the trash out of the trailer, but you can't take the trailer out of the trash, so to speak. Okay, yeah, and when you get somebody who has never had money, you give them an inch, they'll go 2 inches. You give them a foot, they want 2 feet. You give them a rope, they think they're a fucking cowboy. They're just unbelievably stupid. You cannot fix stupid.
And we're not saying anything bad about him in that reference.
Right.
But we're just saying that, listen, bad mistakes happen all the time. And, you got to question. It's about, if you're a multi-millionaire, right? And you have all this to lose. You cannot put yourself, and I'm not saying he was putting himself in one bad decision versus another, but trying to cross that lane of traffic was a bad decision. Being out all night when you're supposed to be down in Florida to work out with other teammates, those are all bad decisions. So yeah. I'm not saying anything against character. I'm just saying he made bad decisions and it cost him his life.
Yeah, but in fact, I mean, we're not speaking to him we're speaking we're speaking in general.
Yeah,
athletes, and he just happens to be one of them.
Well, people. I mean, people, not just athletes. Politicians, actors, people, regular people.
Yeah,
you can't put yourself in bad positions and make bad decisions in those positions because things like this can happen.
Yeah, I can't believe he's crossing a highway. What the fuck?
In front of a dump truck, Mike. In front of a dump truck.
I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, there's got to be something more to that. You can't be that. There's got to be something more to this.
I'm with you. There's got to be more to this. There's somehow someone's protecting this. They're not releasing. Because if it was all released, we would see all kinds of things about this. All the text messages, what he was doing there. He was there with 5 other Pittsburgh players. Not one of them have come out and spoken about what has actually happened, where he was that night. They've all come out with a canned statement saying, Haskins was practicing. He was doing the right thing. He was where he was supposed to be. But no one's really talking about what the hell went on down there.
You just sounded like Joe Buck when you were talking there.
Well, it's it was my imitation
of Joe Buck.
of Jim Rome doing an interview, how Tiger Woods used to do an interview when he was in the height of his game, because he was so methodical and robotic. I play golf. I swing the ball hard. That's.
Yeah. Like a Jim Harbaugh interview.
Oh God.
Dude, when you listen to him, he's speaking Hebrew. I mean, you can't. Yeah.
Jim, what do you think the execution of the 4-3 defense? uh, we play good.
He's not the best color analyst in the league for nothing, folks.
It looks like when he does an interview, he's about to take a big dump.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he picks his nose and eats it too. So
They
I
got
mean,
that on camera.
it is what it is. You know, I mean, I can honestly say I've never done that in my lifetime, but hey, more power
Not
to
on
him.
camera. Not on camera.
Never.
Right?
I've never eaten a booger. I just don't. I don't understand it. It's like, why would you think
Good
that?
source of protein, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's mainly, isn't it mainly like dust and stuff? That's I don't know. I mean, I can't see it being protein, but then again,
as this show come down to, we have to talk about boogers now.
We do, but look at like it reminds it. I think about sometimes like people eating oysters. Who thought at one?
That's a phlegm ball.
I know you love them. That's why I brought it up. But who thought at one point, let's break this thing open. Let's look at this thing that's just a ball of snot. Oh, that's probably delicious. Let's eat that.
It's an aphrodisiac.
You know how it happened. Some two
drunk
tribemen were starving, had nothing to eat, hadn't eaten a week, and you eat anything, and they looked at it and said, "Fuck it, we're eating it."
I think they were probably drunk and or high, and then
I dare you. I dare you.
That was probably a double dog dare, my guess.
Do we know what day today is today?
420.
Yeah, 420.
420, baby. 420.
Yeah. Did you partake today or no?
No, I didn't.
No, tonight?
No.
Okay. I thought maybe you'd have a gummy to help you sleep or something.
I don't mind gummies every once in a while.
They work. Let me just say that they work.
I bought some and they're horrible.
That's breaking news. Fred bought some gummies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't buy them. Kendra bought them, but
yeah, but he bought Sour Patch Kids. He didn't know.
They're not anywhere near what Tammy gave me up at the campground when my back was all jacked up.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Well, that was laced with fentanyl.
Well, I wouldn't be here if that.
I think she was trying to put you out or something. I don't know. I don't know why she'd be doing that, but all right. So we got a topic here that we missed Ruth's question before last week's question. So I want to go over that. I thought it was a good topic. Name a guilty pleasure, either TV show or movie that you have. In other words, you watch that you really don't want people to know that you watch it.
Didn't we do this one before?
No, I don't think so.
No.
We didn't do this one.
I got two.
Okay, let you start then, Rob.
All right. Andy Griffith. I love Andy Griffith. I cry watching Andy Griffith.
Okay, you took it too far.
Yeah. Jesus, really?
Which episode would you cry watching Andy Griffith?
Because, the interaction between Opie and him, I have a son. I don't know. It's emotional sometimes. It makes me
God, dude.
I know. Hey, listen, I'm trying to be real and give you what
I appreciate that. I just think you're weird.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
And then the other one.
Thanks for sharing, Rob.
Yeah.
Mama's Place.
What's Mama's Place?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, right. You're going to leave it. Who's in it, Rob?
Carol Burnett and
is that where she's
the
mom?
You mean Vicki Lawrence?
And Vicki Lawrence. Well, yeah, but Vicki Lawrence's mama. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. I love that.
All right, not judging. It's good. Mine's pretty bad too. But Fred, how about you next?
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, really?
I loved it. I've watched.
That's bad.
You what? You don't think it's bad?
No, I don't think a lot of people are watching.
I watched
men and women. It's really popular right now. Fred, no, you got to go deeper. I'm calling bullshit. Go deeper.
But Eva, our exchange student that's visiting, was watching it with Tammy. I don't know if it was last night or I think it was last night, maybe, or the night before. Holy shit, that show is awful, man. It's just
It is not awful.
It's fucking horrible. Like
it is not.
English assholes.
Popular.
Like
Fred, I want to hear you cuddle up on the couch with Kendra and you watch like The Bachelor.
Well, no.
Something like that.
I do not watch any reality TV. But no. I am a fan of all the Nicholas Sparks movies.
Oh, that's bad.
I love
The Notebook. Is that?
Notebook? The Notebook, the Lucky One.
He knows multiple.
Oh yeah, well, I know all of them. I own all of them.
Oh God.
What else? What else does he own on DVD, Rob? What else does he own?
He owns everything.
Black anal hole.
No, what's the one we always tease him about?
What does he always tease him about? We tease him about so many things, Mike.
Oh, Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
Shut up.
Series on DVD.
That's right, because it's fucking awesome.
You and every 12-year-old
girl. And I love One Tree Hill too.
I don't even know what that is. I've heard about it.
Either.
People say
I have no clue what that is.
I do know what Dawson's Creek is. And
Kevin Williamson had something going during that time. He's also.
Let me ask you this, Fred. When you turn on Dawson's Creek, you close the curtains and even make sure they're sealed, like you're afraid someone would look in and see you watching it?
Hey, Rob, 6'3", 250. Anybody wants to make fun of me, I'll beat their ass.
Well, Fred,
we just did.
I'm in Florida, and I'm making fun of you right now.
Yeah. And I show up at your doorstep, you're gonna run like a fucking pansy ass.
No, I'm not.
I know you. No, I respect you.
Mike, what do you got?
Beer.
You got Michelob Light?
That a boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, some people would say it's not beer, but they don't fucking know anything. So
that's right. I mean, there's a lot. And as a reminder, I mean, when you have, your sister and your mom in your house, and then you get married, and then you have two girls, and you got a wife and two girls, and then you move, and then you have Kendra and her daughter over. Then guess what? I mean, there's no males watching. I mean, I watched Downton Abbey too.
Oh, I watched Downton.
So did Rob.
That's good.
I mean, it's real good. So I mean, you can say whatever you want. Those are shows that I love. 90210. I watched it every Saved by the Bell. Watch everything about Saved by the Bell.
Everything you said is not as bad as when we were 15 and you were in the Mary Lou Retton fan club.
This is true.
I was not in the Mary Lou Retton fan.
I swear, yes, you were.
I was not in the Mary Lou Retton fan club.
I'm telling you, he was.
I was not. If I was, I would admit it. I just told you all the shit that I listened to or watched.
Hey, she was very attractive if you're into 12-year-old boys. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's my turn.
Jerry Sandusky really liked Mary Lou.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, I have one that is it's totally embarrassing. I got hooked on it when the girls were watching it, and they went to bed, and I think I watched it for another 3 hours. It's really bad, but it's like a train wreck. What? 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, I've seen
come on. Everything that I watch is nothing worse than that.
Oh,
watching that no neck motherfucker with his little bitty.
That one. I think that was like the first season or something.
Yeah, he's like this, and he's got a ponytail. He's trying to kiss the girl, but he can't move, and they're running away from him.
I mean, it sounds like you watched it.
Well, it's on a. It's on a. No, because I watched Dr. Pimple Popper and all that stuff, and sit there and.
Wait, did you just tell me you didn't watch reality TV?
He did. Yeah,
I-
let's rewind the tape. Yes, he definitely said that.
Dr. Pimple Popper's not reality TV.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it's a reality. To me, reality TV is like
Oh my God.
the real world, and
No, reality TV is all
I
of that.
want Miss
Orange
Smith,
County
I
Choppers.
want Lisa Rayburn. I want Ruth. All the comment it. If he's messed up, it's all reality TV.
okay,
It is.
okay,
Totally.
okay.
Reality TV.
If you said Orange County Chopper, so if that's going to be considered a real.
That's
Real
reality
Housewives
TV, yeah.
of, you know.
Yeah, well, we're not going to watch any. I'm not watching any of that.
But those are reality. That's reality.
Fine,
TV.
fine.
Yeah, Fred's yours top ours by far, dude.
Yeah, what a
I thought I had the worst. Mine were done back in the 80s.
Yes.
And I thought I was
Well, Fred's were
Okay.
back in the 80s and the 90s, and he keeps
Okay.
recycling them.
Rob. Rob, you're going to say that all the Nicholas Spark movies is worse than 90 Day Fiance.
I've never seen. I've only watched one Nicholas Sparks movie. That's The Notebook. That one was.
You watched it for Rachel McAdams, though.
I pretty much did.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, Safe Haven's got Julianne Howe in it. Come on.
I've never ever once ever.
Hogue.
You just spoke like foreign language to me just a minute ago. I don't even know anything you just said there. But I've never watched 90 Day Fiance. I've seen when I flip around and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Mike's watched Dance Moms too.
No.
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I know, just kidding.
Yeah, so that's the only show that I like. I got hooked on it. I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird show. It's bizarre.
I mean, you could say, Mike, people would say us watching Baskets. And if nobody's ever watched Baskets, there's a lot of people who just hate Baskets.
I love Baskets.
I absolutely hate Baskets.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, there you go. Everybody hates it. All right. So I think we've exhausted that topic, unless you guys got something else you want to share. Okay, I had another one, and I'm bridging two different things. So it's basically events. So your top three, either concerts or sporting events, and you can mix them because I came up with 3, and 1 sports and 2 are concerts. But top 3 events that you've been to, either concert or sporting event.
How many is Fred giving us? 6 or 7?
Fred's probably going to give us 5, and there's going to have like a tie for third and a tie for second.
I go over. I'm taking the over on that.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going over 5.
Fred's got a niche he's scratching.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go first on this one to give you guys a chance to think.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start with number 3. It's a concert. It was Old 97's opening for Wilco at the Majestic Theater in Detroit. I'm not sure what year it was, but it was the Fight Songs tour for Old 97s.
Oh, yeah.
So it was awesome. I mean, two of my favorite bands playing at once. It was incredible. Number 2 was just recently the Big Ten Championship, Michigan versus Iowa. That was my number 2 all-time event. What a fucking atmosphere that was. It was incredible. Electric, some might say. Number 1 is a concert, and this was 1988. Keith Richards and the Expensive Winos at the Fox Theater in Detroit. Best concert I've ever been to in my lifetime, and I've been to a lot. That was my all-time favorite concert. Keith Richards. So, who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Fred.
This is tough because as far as this sporting events and concerts, I mean, I've been to a lot of both. And yes, unfortunately I'm going to have a tie because when I tell you, you're going to understand. Okay. I promise. Right. Okay. Number 3, it's a concert. New Year's Day or New Year's night, Eve at St. Andrews Hall. Helmet and Rage Against the Machine. Just, I mean, epic show. Epic show. I can't, I just can't tell you. I can't even explain how awesome it was. It was crazy. Number 2 is a concert. I kind of have to go with my first concert I ever went to. It was Kiss Heaven in Vandenberg at Cobo. I have to say that because I mean, obviously, I was big into music. It was my first concert my parents let me go to. I went with Mike Bellows, and his dad took us, and it was the Lick It Up tour, and it was a great show. And the tie for first, it's 1 and 1A, Chrysler Arena, Flint Beecher, Saginaw Buena Vista. Charlie Cole's son they miss Beecher misses a free throw. They give it to Charlie Cole's son, and he shoots from the hash mark of the opposite side of the court with no time left on the clock. The whole place is silent, and the only thing you can hear is the buzzer going off for the game, and you hear the ball go in. It goes shing because it just hit the back of the iron, buried it to win the game. And Moses Lacey, who was the coach from Flint Beecher, threw the trophy down and smashed it everywhere and was suspended for half of the year the following year. Everybody, I was crying. Everybody was crying in the crowd because it was just something that you just never expected to see. And then also, my 1A is football, Michigan, Ohio State. Charles Woodson returns a punt for the touchdown, and I'm sitting, and he runs right into my end zone, right to where I'm sitting, and I'm yelling to everybody in our section, he just won the Heisman. What an epic football game that was.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you're up, Rob. What say you?
Number 3, Monsters of Rock, LA Coliseum. First Monsters of Rock.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice. We had floor seats, and I remember Tommy Lee walked by us. We had the aisle seat. I remember, like, they walked by. All of a sudden, this hot blonde walks by, and I look back, and I'm telling my buddies, I think that was Heather Locklear and Tommy Lee, and they went up into that thing that have on the floor, like, what is that, Mike? Where they do the sound?
Sound, yeah. Probably the sound.
They were
the
sitting
booth
up there. Yeah. Number 2, I'm going to say, and this is going to be both Michigan football games. Michigan playing UCLA, non-conference before the season. They're down by 10 with 1:10 left. Vada Murray blocks a punt. They return that for a touchdown, and then they score another touchdown to win the game. And when they scored that touchdown, there was only like two seconds left in the game.
Was that in California or?
Yeah, that was
at the Rose Bowl.
Second one at the Rose Bowl. The next one, I can't remember the year. It was against Washington. They were down. Tony McGee caught the pass with like 30 seconds left in the game, running right at us. We were in the corner of the end zone. He caught it over the shoulder, ran right to us to win the game against Washington. That was an epic. And I have an A too. I was also at the 97 Rose Bowl game where they beat Washington State. So
nice to win the co-national championship.
To win the co-national championship.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Those are my 4.
Nice. Well, you tried to limit it to 3, but I get it, guys. There's too many.
I would also say I like the Big Ten championship you and I went to, but I also loved the Notre Dame Wisconsin game in Soldier Field, just because
Yeah,
I don't know, it was kind of cool.
the Shamrock Series.
I got
2
a good
years
picture.
later,
I got a
whatever,
good
year
picture
later.
of that game. Me at the game.
Nice. All right, you guys had a couple things you were chatting before we went on. You guys care to expound on that? Rob, you were all fired up about the Michigan spring game and Colin Kaepernick and his quote unquote workout.
God. Well, because I heard from everybody that how well he did, and I was just watching the spring game, and they did it. I thought they were going to do it before the game. They did it at halftime,
Okay.
10 minutes, and no, he wasn't that good. I mean, there was nothing impressive of that working. Why would they make this stuff up? Why? What is the hidden agenda about this guy? I don't understand.
Well, how long has he been out of the league? Like 4 years
5
now?
years.
5 years. It's like
5 years.
I don't, he's not going to play again in the NFL. I mean,
if he was good enough to play, believe me, I don't care if he killed babies. If he was good enough to play, a team would have him as a quarterback.
exactly. I think
right?
I agree with you. I think that's the case. Yeah, I just don't see him coming back. I don't think I just can't see him playing. How do you come back after 5 years not playing too? I mean, that just seems weird. I just don't.
Well, I mean, there's people that they've been away from the game for a year,
yeah,
and they come back and they're not the same. I can't imagine what 5 years is going to be, but when you look at
now, I mean, because
but when you look at the people who are backing up the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I could probably name at least 3 or 4 off the top of my head, and I mean, and obviously both quarterbacks at Detroit, that probably Kaepernick's probably better than. But again, do you really want the distraction and the publicity and not focusing on the team? Again, he's not the character guy that Dan Campbell wants. I mean, you got Dan Campbell already complaining about them thinking about drafting Thibodeau, and because he's not they say he's about himself and not the team. He's not that type of a character, because of the culture. So I don't really understand what the bringing him back into the league at this point would be kind of dumb. But again, bring him back. Terrell Owens wants to come back. I mean, and Terrell Owens is playing in a league right now. I don't know if it's I think it might be arena football or whatever it is. But the thing is, he just scored a touchdown to win the game the other day. I mean,
well, most people were saying if Kaepernick and the announcers in this game, Fred, they were saying if he was really serious, Kaepernick, about proving himself,
USFL,
he would have got on one of the USFL teams.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but he probably would have got cut because he didn't want like chicken salad.
What was that about?
I think there's more to that.
There has to be, but
chicken salad or chicken shit.
That's all. Have you heard this?
Fred told me about it, and I said, you know what? I want to give the player the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think a team would do that just because of that.
I don't know.
Well, they said that he broke 3 team rules in a 24-hour span. So they haven't really elaborated, but he also said he spoke to the coach after the whole being cut. Yeah, and the coach said that he would vouch for his character.
Then why would he cut him?
Exactly.
That's what I don't understand.
Sounds like a shit show.
So what I would So what I would tell what I would do is if I'm Jeff Fisher, I'm calling him. Hey, you want to play football? You can come play for the Panthers because we need a running game. Oh my God, I thought I was watching the Lions in a Panthers uniform the other day.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. You guys, I only watched like the second half of the Panthers game. Did you guys watch any? You
watched the good half,
right? I heard the first half was a shit show, but
when you say shit show, and you look it up in the dictionary, Shady Patterson's name was right there. I mean, his picture's right there because he was just absolutely atrocious. And then he showed bright spots, and then next thing he's sitting in the friggin' shotgun, the ball's thrown right at his face, and he drops. I think he dropped at least 3 snaps back to him during the game. It was ridiculous.
So you're not a fan, Fred?
Uh,
I got a feeling you're not a fan.
Well, here's the problem though.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. The worst is their backup is Paxton Lynch, who used to play with the Broncos, and he was even a bigger shit show. So,
yeah,
So
I think these guys are it's gonna take some time to find their sea legs. It was the first game. You could see that it was the first game for everybody. I mean, I saw some highlights of the other games, but did you watch the Tampa Bay game the other day?
I watched
Rob, on Monday.
No, I watched a couple games of it, and they're doing replays of it on one of the sports networks. And last night I watched the Jersey Generals and the
Birmingham. That was a good game.
When was that?
It was a touchdown in 3 plays, and the other team got the ball and scored a touchdown in 2 plays. It was like 2 touchdowns in the first 5 plays.
Nice.
It was
That's
crazy.
cool. That's cool though.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining. I'm probably going to watch more this weekend. This weekend was this past weekend was just so busy that
I thought the quality of play was actually pretty good.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The Birmingham, New Jersey game and the Panthers in Houston game was actually quite entertaining.
Yeah.
I have to admit. So, I enjoyed both the games. I was hoping that Michigan Panthers would be a little bit better, but their second half they were much better. So I expect to see better things moving forward with them. If their defense was, I'll tell you, Houston's defense was pretty solid. They weren't in the second half against the Panthers, but in the first half, I was like, what the hell? Where's this team coming from, man? I mean, he had those guys like pretty pumped up, and they were like
at the very end there.
But big hits.
I mean, it came right down to the wire. That guy gets that second foot down, and Panthers win. It was exciting at the end, I thought.
He wouldn't have won because they called a chop block on the.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. They did.
But it would have been cool, if he scored the touchdown and even though they called it and they lost, at least you could say, one little mistake, one less mistake, and you win the game. So I mean,
I got a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
And I think this is because I've heard when I lived back there, a couple comments from people, a female friend of ours and a younger male friend of ours, actually, Kevin's son-in-law, asking me, what's the big deal about the Michigan Panthers? I think, for us, the 3 of us, we're going to have similar answers, but I'm going to start with you, Mike. Mike, why were you such a Panther fan back in the day?
Anthony Carter. I mean, that's why I was a Panther fan. I mean, he was awesome, and they were a great team. They won the first championship. It was exciting. It was a new league, and of course, the fucking Lions have sucked since Christ was a carpenter. So it was nice to see a fucking Detroit football team actually winning. It was awesome, and Bear was a great quarterback, like an unknown, really, and
right.
I thought they did great. I mean,
John Corker, and then you had Sean Faulkner from Port Huron High played on him.
The uniforms were kick ass. It was
by far the best uniform in now and back then.
Yeah, it was exciting. So it was different. And for once, a Michigan pro football team was winning. So that's what I liked about it.
How about you, Fred? What are just take me back to 1984, 1983, whenever that was. You put yourself in that mindset and tell me what it was about that.
Well, it was exciting. It was exciting because, I mean, this state is like just hungry for a football team to be, relevant, and that team was not only relevant, but they were dominating. And I'm going to be honest with you, the helmet, the helmet just by itself is phenomenal. That champagne color with that panther.
The logo is kicking.
Yeah, it's just it's sick. And that team had a lot of guys that were that you just couldn't understand why they weren't playing in the NFL. And obviously Anthony Carter was a big factor for me because being a Michigan fan my whole life, and watching some of the things that he did at Michigan. And he did some things in the NFL after the USFL folded, but Bobby Hebert was a very good quarterback. And again, having Sean Faulkner from Port Huron on the team, that was kind of cool too. So it was something where back then, if a sporting event was on and it was worth watching, it gave us something to do. And I mean, like I said, even when the baseball strike was going on and they had spring training and they had the Scabs playing down there, I was okay with that because I wanted to watch it. I'm not going to sit here and say, that crossing the picket line is the right thing to do, but again, those guys are trying to make a living just like anybody else. So
I agree with you 100%, Mike, on your first three things. It was, lack of great pro football in this state. And we were all Michigan fans, and particular Anthony Carter. He was a magical player. He, was on that team, obviously. And what was the other thing you said? What were your three things, Mike? Anthony, lack of football.
It was just exciting to see.
How good they were. They won the championship that first year.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll even expound a little bit and give you a couple other reasons also why I like them. A, they were on regular TV, right? So you could watch their game on regular TV. That was great.
Yep.
Or it was either on the basic cable we had. I can't remember which one, but you could watch everyone.
They played all their games on Channel 7.
There you go. The other thing was, and I can't remember how I got it, but there was a big blitz and marketing campaign, and I'm sure it was by the USFL in every one of the cities, but we had it local in Marine City. Went to a store, you buy certain amount of something, and you trade in the bottle caps or something. I had a Michigan Panthers t-shirt from that, and I wore it all the time. Because the colors were great, the logo was great. And I never at that time ever worn or owned anything Lion, but I would wear that Panther shirt all the time. So I thought, and I think it's interesting because guys our age really get the Panther thing. I think people that are not our age are kind of struggling to find out why we're so into it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been 40 something years, guys, so. And not to mention, kind of this too. One of my next door neighbors actually had John Corker's helmet. Found it in a pawn shop.
No.
In Pontiac.
Wow.
And he bought it just because it was the Panther thing. And then inside it had, inside it had like remember the thing where you put the letter and it comes out. A label maker.
Oh yeah.
Inside the helmet, and it said Jay Corker and Coker and it, whatever. Yeah, so nice. he had that, and I was like, dude, I just want to break into your house and steal it. I wanted it so bad.
It was interesting that it was the Detroit Lions and the Michigan Panthers. Like the Lions bigger than the Panther, I thought it was. I thought that was ironic, but certainly the Panthers were bigger at the time than the Lions were. I think.
My God.
So
they were the only ones winning in that arena.
Yeah. So I read somewhere. Speaking of, we were talking about Kaepernick and coming back, but I read somewhere. I think it was Floyd Mayweather, the boxer.
Yeah.
Was saying that he would he would offer, what was it, like he wants Antonio Brown to go back to the NFL, and he said that if a team would take him, and I think I forget what the deal was, but if they would pay him $20 million if he panned out, then or if he didn't pan out, that Floyd Mayweather would give the team the $20 million back, just to get him back into football.
Like Floyd Mayweather would honor that payment. I would say, listen, you pay us the $20 million, and if it works out, we'll give you back 15.
I think that's what it was. I think that was the deal that he's proposing, but I thought that was kind of ironic and desperate, but it's interesting. I never heard of anything like that. Like, hey, we'll give you the money for this player.
Yeah. Why would he be interested? Well, is he sleeping with Antonio Brown?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yikes. Well, to me, that sounds like that Moneyball thing where he says, hey, I will pay for this guy to be his salary to be brought over. Yeah. And if he pans out, when I trade him for double the money, I keep the profit.
Yeah, no, I would get that if Floyd said that. If he said, listen, I'm going to pay his salary, but if he works out, then you pay me an extra to, whatever, 100 million.
So name a player that has been out of the league for a few years that could come back in NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball? Can you think of a person that you think, they could come back and they could play?
Terrell Owens.
You think so?
You think so? He's old, Fred.
He just ran the 40 and 4.4 flat.
Yeah, but you know what?
He's built like a Greek god.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. The issue is when you're older and you get hit like that, you can't get out of bed the next day. It doesn't matter how you're built. Your recovery time is so much longer. That would be the issue.
How old is he? He's got to be almost 50. No,
he's 48.
Okay,
48. I'd like to see him try it. I just don't think he could do it.
40.
I think in the game he'd be fine, but I think he would break down. He'd be out in 2 games with injuries.
Well, who do you think anybody, Rob, that could come back from retirement? I mean, Brady doesn't count because he hasn't even been out a year. So,
I can't think of anybody that right off my mind that retired recently that's good enough that could come back. Some people say Jordy Nelson could. Some people say
Phillip Rivers could. I'm telling you. Phillip Rivers is a gamer, man.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think
Drew Brees.
I think the closest we're going to see anybody doing this who's not really retired except for injuries have kept him in some type of retirement is Tiger. I think Tiger at some point may be able to put something together again to win another major.
I agree with that.
Nice.
Not that he's officially retired, Mike, but he's been such on a road of injuries that, he's almost like been in retirement.
Well, yeah, and mind you that him making the cut after 40 months of rehab and since 40 months since the actual, was it 40 months or 14 months, whatever
14, I think.
14 months, excuse me. And going and walking up and down that course and actually making the cut, I mean, is a miracle in itself. He almost lost his leg. So,
let me ask you, Fred. He didn't have to make the cut, though, did he? He's a 3-time winner, right?
No. I'm just saying him making the cut after not playing a round of golf, in any kind of professional setting other than playing, training himself to swing and everything. That's pretty remarkable.
When's Lisa Wayburn coming on?
Yeah, we got to get her on. And I messaged her, and oh no, I didn't message her yet. I was going to message her tomorrow. I already messaged Jeff Hall, and then I'm giving Ron a opportunity to kind of get a couple things set on. I'm going to kind of lock him in probably sometime in May.
I think if we get Wayburn on, we should do some kind of battle of the sexes game.
Well, I told everybody I'm telling everybody that we're asking that you've asked us to have on the show that they have to bring a topic to the show.
Wayburn, I know you'll bring a lot of topics.
Oh, Lisa Wayburn will have at least. She could probably have 3 or 4 for that show.
Oh yeah.
And I know Jeff will have at least 2 or 3 himself. Yeah. So it'll be mostly him coming and asking us things. So I know that he'll come through for sure.
Nice. Well, you guys got any other hot topics you'd like to talk about? Not the store at the mall. We're not talking about hot topics.
Yeah, right. No, I think we did. That was a pretty good show, guys.
All right. Very good. It looks like Rob's about to fall asleep.
I am, man. It's been a long couple of days, man.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for this episode, number 12. Let's see if we can top 45 views from the last episode.
Well, let's give it a whirl.
Wow. Yeah, I think we had like 25 right off the bat. So I mean,
yeah. Would you say that our popularity is waning, or?
No, I think it's been pretty consistent.
I think our audience is just becoming a little more selective, is all.
I think our audience has kind of figured out we suck.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, like I said, if they don't want us to suck, remember you guys can go on Facebook and you can go on the YouTube page and put some topics in there. We would love to hear what you have to say. We love the comments, and what you say about our show. And like I said, we have some great things coming up the next few weeks, and hopefully you guys will be still watching. So
yeah, we appreciate any comments, good or bad or ugly.
Right.
We don't care.
More of you and less of us is better.
Yeah, that's always a good formula.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
All right, guys, that's it for tonight.
All right, man.
You have a great night.
Peace out.
Peace.